thing you do is make sure that the wheel chocks are out.
Everything.
Second thing you do is light your cigarette.
Second thing you do is
Light your cigarette.
He said, well, let's skip this step, man.
Are you gonna do
you got a miniature or something in your pocket?
Fixing to do a whole pre-trip.
the whole?
Come on, man. Just
Fine,
watch and
not-
see.
not like half of it. I'm talking about you finna get it all. Fine. The trailer.
Yeah, not just the tip, the whole
You
thing.
know what Cheerios are?
Sorry, that wasn't funny. I didn't mean.
Do you like Cheerios? Do you like Honey Nut Cheerios?
Yeah, with the
Okay, you know how you get everything with the Honey Nut Cheerios? That's what you're getting today. This is going to be your
Hey.
Honey Nut Cheerios today.
I tried the ones with the wheat in there. It's pretty damn good.
I don't eat Cheerios.
You don't eat Cheerios?
Does it look like I eat cereal?
Belly. I ain't got no time.
Exactly. Does it look like I eat cereal?
He said, I eat gravy and biscuits, and I don't fucking eat
Gravy
cereal.
and biscuits, man. Come on.
Real break.
All right, first thing you do, approaching your
Hold
vehicle,
up. What's that say?
check and make sure that your wheels are chalked, okay? And your key in pocket. You good?
Can I record?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, come on.
God damn it! I'm just getting ready, sir. I'm getting ready.
What?
You good?
Yeah, I'm just waiting on my brother till he.
All right. Now, wheels chalked, key in pocket. Checking to make sure that your vehicle is not leaning, indicating a suspension problem or a flat tire. Check underneath to make sure that you have no fluid leaks, oil, coolant, fuel, or grease. Walk up to your truck. My mirror is secure, not broken or missing. My left outer reflector, my left turn signal, my left four-way emergency flasher, my left clearance light, my left headlight, high and low beam, my left inner reflector. You go to your right side. My mirror, again, is secure, not broken or missing. My right outer reflector, my right turn signal, my right four-way emergency flasher, my right clearance light, my right headlight, high and low beam, my right inner reflector, my upper clearance lights. All of my lights are clean, present, not broken or missing, and working properly. My windshields and windshield wipers are secure, not broken or missing. Now you're gonna open the hood.
Y'all get the other side.
Always yell clear before you open this hood. Clear. Say clear back.
Clear.
Then go to the right side of your vehicle. Touch what you can touch, point to what you cannot touch. My alternator is securely mounted. My alternator wires are secure, intact, not worn or frayed. My alternator belt is not cracked, frayed, or glazed with a 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch deflection. My water pump is securely mounted, not leaking. My water pump hoses are securely attached, not cracked, frayed, or leaking. My exhaust system is securely mounted. No broken, loose, or missing parts. No black soot indicating an exhaust leak. If you need help remembering broken, loose, or missing, just remember BLM. Now, you was on your engine on that side. Stay on your engine when you come around here. My air compressor is securely mounted. My air compressor hoses are securely attached, not cracked, frayed, or leaking. There's no oil leaks. If it was belt driven, you'd make sure that your belt is not cracked, frayed, or glazed with a 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch deflection. My coolant, if it does not have a clear reservoir or a sight glass with my engine cool, I would remove my radiator cap, making sure that the level is no more than 3 inches below the radiator cap. My oil is not milky in color, indicating coolant fluid in my oil. There's no foreign particles. My oil level must be between the add and the full line. If it is below the add line, you would add 1 gallon of 15W40 motor oil. My power steering fluid is at the proper level, not leaking. Now go to your steering suspension. You just talked about steering. Go to your steering suspension. My steering linkage is securely mounted. There's no broken, loose, or missing parts, and it's not bent. My steering box is securely mounted. My steering box hoses are securely attached, not cracked, frayed, or leaking. My pitman arm, my drag link, my steering knuckle, my steering arm, and my spindle is securely mounted. There is no broken, loose, or missing parts, and it is not damaged. My tie rod, which is the round bar that goes all the way across underneath. My tie rod is securely attached to my steering arm, not bent. My castle nuts, all of my castle nuts and carter pins are secure in place, none missing. You're done with your steering system. Now, work your way out. You're right there on your frame. Work your way out. Talk about your suspension system. My spring mounts, both front and back, are securely mounted. No broken, loose, or missing parts. My spring is not broken, missing, or misaligned. If a quarter or more was missing, it would place my vehicle out of commission. My U-bolts are securely tightened, not broken or missing. My shock absorber is securely mounted, not leaking. You're done with your suspension. Then go to your brake system. My brake lines or brake hoses are securely attached to my brake chamber, not cracked, frayed, or leaking. My brake chamber is securely mounted, not leaking. My slack adjuster, there's no broken, loose, or missing parts. With my pin and carter pin in place, securely attached to my push rod. With my wheels chalked and my parking brakes released, there should be no more than 1 inch of play. My brake pad or brake lining must be at least 1/4 of an inch thick, not cracked, not oil soaked. My brake drum, it's not cracked, there's no repair welds, there's no excessive buildup of debris. You're done with your brake system. Your brake system is the exact same all the way through the truck. Now, go to your tires. My tires, insides and the outsides. There's no cuts, bruises, or blisters. My tread depth must be at least 4/32 of an inch thick. Must be virgin rubber, cannot be retread or recaps. My air pressure must be 90 to 100 PSI. Check with an air pressure gauge, making sure that I have a metal cap on the end of my valve stem. Your valve stem is connected to your rim. Talk about your rim. My rim is not cracked, it's not bent, there's no repair welds. My lug nuts, all of my lug nuts are securely tightened. No rusty streaks indicating a loose lug nut. My hub oil seal, if it has a rubber garment in the middle, it is a hub oil seal. My hub oil seal is not leaking. You're finished with your tires. That's Form A, guys. That's it. Now you go to Form B. Which starts with lighting my cigarette.
So when they draw out of the hat, if you got to do A, you got to be able to say all that.
Yeah.
But for the pre-trip, for y'all, we got to know.
Every single bit of it. Now, Form B starts right here. My driver's side door opens and closes properly. My mirrors, there's more than one mirror here. My mirrors are securely mounted, not loose. Then open this up. My fuel tank, point to this black strap, touch it, let them know you know what you're talking about. My fuel tank is securely mounted, not leaking. My fuel cap is securely tightened, not leaking. Come back down here. You're going to come to your light from this moment right here. Once you get to this light right here, Every time you mention light, you're going to say your lights, your reflectors, and your reflective tape. Okay? No matter what light you talk about now. Lights, reflectors, and reflective tape. My left and right turn signal. My left and right full-way emergency flasher. My left and right clearance light. All of my lights, all of my reflectors, and all of my reflective tape are clean, present, not damaged, and working properly. Then move right back here to your steps. My steps and my catwalks are securely mounted to my frame. You just mentioned frame. Talk about your frame now. My frame, there's no missing bolts, there's no cracks, and there's no welds. Then just point in between your frame. My drive shaft. My drive shaft is not cracked, bent, or broken. My universal joint is secure, free of foreign objects. Then move right up to the back of your cab. My exhaust system is securely mounted. No broken, loose, or missing parts, and no black soot indicating an exhaust leak. The back of my cab, there's no visible damage. My lights, my reflectors, and my reflective tape are clean, present, not damaged, working properly. Now we're going to go to some of our coupling system. Your air lines and electrical lines is part of your coupling system. You have them hooked on both sides, the back of the cab and the front of the trailer. So you're going to talk about them. Start with the back of your cab. My air lines and electrical lines. First thing you want to say is they're secure, not tangled. Now talk about them. My air lines are securely attached, not cracked, frayed, or leaking. An electrical line cannot leak. My electrical line is securely connected to its coupler, not cracked or frayed. Then turn around and go straight to the front of your trailer, the front bulkhead. My front bulkhead, there is no visible damage. There's no missing rivets or bolts. My lights, my clearance lights, all of my lights, all of my reflectors, and all of my reflective tape are clean, present, not damaged, and working properly. Now drop down here to your coupling system again. Again, you're going to say they are secure, not tangled. My air lines are securely attached to my glad hands, not cracked, frayed, or leaking. My glad hands are securely attached, not leaking. My electrical line is securely connected to its coupler, not cracked or frayed. Then drop straight down into your drive suspension, your front drive suspension. Point right in between your frame, that round bar in there, that is your torsion bar. My torsion bar is securely mounted. My spring mounts, both front and back, are securely mounted. No broken, loose, or missing parts. My springs are not broken, missing, or misaligned. If a quarter or more was missing, it would place my vehicle out of commission. My U-bolts are securely tightened, not broken or missing. And move back here in between your drive axles. Squat down and just point right in here. My air bellow is securely mounted, not leaking. Point right behind your front drive tires. Point right in behind them. My shock absorber is securely mounted, not leaking. You're done with your suspension. Now come right back up to the front and just point into your brake system and do your brake system. My air line, my brake lines or brake hoses are securely attached to my brake chamber, not cracked, frayed, or leaking. My brake chamber is securely mounted, not leaking. My slack adjuster, there's no broken, loose, or missing parts, with pin and cotter pin in place, securely attached to my push rod. With my wheels chalked and my parking brakes released, there should be no more than 1 inch of play. My brake pad or brake lining must be at least 1/4 inch thick, not cracked, not oil soaked. My brake drum is not cracked, there's no repair welds, there's no excessive buildup of debris. You're done with your brake system. Now go to your tires. My tires, insides and outsides. There's no cuts, bruises, or blisters. My tread depth must be at least 2 32 of an inch thick, can be retread, can be recaps. My air pressure must be 90 to 100 psi, making sure that I have a metal cap on the end of my valve stems. My rims, insides and the outsides. They're not cracked, they're not bent, and there's no repair welds. All of my lug nuts are securely tightened. No rusty streaks indicating a loose lug nut. My axle seal is not leaking. My duals, there is nothing in between my tires. We have Bud wheels, no spacers. You're done with your tires. You're done with your front drive axle. Now you would say, I would inspect my rear drive axle the same as I did my front drive axle. You're done with that. Now, while you're right here, you're going to talk about your coupling system. You're going to do your coupling system. We started it up here. We're going to finish it. We're going to do some more of it right here. My mounting bolts. My mounting bolts, there's no broken, loose, or missing brackets, clamps, nuts, or bolts. My fifth wheel and slide mount is solidly attached to my platform. Now talk about your platform. My platform is securely attached to the frame. No broken, loose, or missing bolts or pins. No cracks, no breaks. Then point right up into front here. My sliding fifth wheel locking pins are completely engaged. Then go right up to this handle. This handle right here is your release arm. My release arm is fully engaged. If it was equipped with a safety latch, it would be secure in place. Then talk about what your release arm and safety latch is connected to. Your skid plate. My skid plate is properly greased. No damage. Then talk about what your skid plate is touching. Your apron. My apron is just like your drive shaft. It's not cracked, it's not bent, and it's not broken. Now we've got 4 more things to talk about, but we're going to go behind the landing gear.
Oh, I'm going with
Now, all you have to do here is just point into your fifth wheel. My locking jaws are secure around the shank and not the head of my kingpin. Well, you just mentioned kingpin. That's the second thing you're going to talk about. My kingpin is not bent. Now, talk about the third thing, your gap. There's no visible space between my upper and my lower fifth wheel. Now you're going to talk about the fourth thing. You just mentioned fifth wheel. My fifth wheel is properly positioned so that my tractor frame does not hit my landing gear during turns. You're done with your coupling system then. While you're right here, finish up the back of your tractor. That is the end of Form B. My splash guards are securely mounted. No damage. My lights. My left and right turn signal. My left and right four-way emergency flasher. My left and right tail light. My left and right brake light. My clearance lights, if it had the clearance lights there. You still have to mention clearance lights. Okay? Those 3 holes is where the clearance lights would be at. My clearance lights, my reverse light, my tag light, all of my lights, all of my reflectors and all of my reflective tape are clean, present, not damaged, and working properly. Now, while you're right here, underneath, we've already started Form C, that's the trailer. We've already done the front bulkhead of the trailer. while we're right here, we'll go ahead and do underneath. My cross members. My cross members are present, they're not cracked, and there's no welds. My spare tire rack. If it's equipped with a spare tire rack, it would be securely mounted. If it had a spare tire in it, we would check to make sure that it has 90 to 100 psi air pressure in it. You check with an air gauge, making sure that you have a metal cap on the end of your valve stem. My air lines must be at least 18 inches up off of the ground. Now you can get out from underneath your trailer. When you get out from under your trailer, you're right here at your landing gear. Talk about your landing gear. My landing gear is fully raised. My landing gear handle is secure in place. And there is no debris on my landing pad. Now, we're gonna go to the side of our trailer. We're gonna line ourselves up with this yellow light. The side bulkhead of my trailer, there's no visible damage. There's no broken or missing rivets or bolts. My left and right turn signal. My left and right four-way emergency flasher. My left and right clearance lights. My upper clearance lights. All of my clearance lights. All of my lights. All of my reflectors and all of my reflective tape are clean, present, not damaged, working properly. Then move back to your tandems. Crawl underneath here and stand right in front of these tires. If you look right here, you'll see all these holes. This shows you have a sliding tandem. My sliding tandem release arm is fully engaged. My sliding tandem locking pins, you have two. You have one here and one back there. My sliding tandem locking pins are completely engaged. Now you can go to your suspension system. On these, first thing you want to tell them is this trailer is not equipped with air bellows or shock absorbers. Now go to your suspension. My spring mounts, both front and back, are securely mounted. No broken, loose, or missing parts. My springs are not broken, missing, or misaligned. If a quarter or more was missing, it would place my vehicle out of commission. My U-bolts are securely tightened, not broken or missing. My torsion bar is securely mounted and it's not damaged. Now you're done with your suspension. Go to your brake system, just point back there. My brake lines or brake hoses are securely attached to my brake chamber, not cracked, frayed, or leaking. My brake chamber is securely mounted, not leaking. My slack adjuster, there's no broken, loose, or missing parts. With my pin and Carter pin in place, securely attached to my push rod. With my wheels chalked and the parking brakes released, I should have no more than 1 inch of play. My brake pad or brake lining must be at least 1/4 of an inch thick, not cracked, not oil soaked. My brake drum, there's no excessive buildup of debris, it's not cracked, and there's no repair welds. Now, you're done with your brake system. Go to your tires. My tires, insides and the outsides. There's no cuts, there's no bruises, there's no blisters. My tread depth must be at least 2/32 of an inch thick, must be at least 2/32 of an inch thick, can be retread, can be recaps. You can get back out from under your tread. My air pressure must be between 90 and 100 psi. Checked with an air pressure gauge, making sure that I have a metal cap on the end of my valve stems. My rims, insides and the outsides, they're not cracked, they're not bent, and there's no repair welds. My lug nuts, all of my lug nuts are securely tightened. No rusty streaks indicating a loose lug nut. My hub oil seal is not leaking. My duals, there's nothing in between the tires. We have Bud wheels, no spacers. We're done with this axle. Now I would inspect my rear tandem axle the same as I did my front tandem axle. That's all you have to say. You do not physically have to inspect that whole axle. Just tell them that you would do it the same way. Work back to the back of the trailer. You come to your splash guards. My splash guards are securely mounted, not damaged. Then move on back to the back of your trailer.
This should be D, right?
This is C.
C. Okay.
The whole thing is D. My DOT/ICC bumper, please start here first. Start right here. My DOT/ICC bumper is securely mounted. It's present and it's not damaged. My tag is current and present. Then come up to your doors. My door hinges, my door latches, my door ties, my cargo seal, my weather seal, all 5 of them. You name all them off. Now we're going to talk about them. They're securely mounted. They're present. They're not damaged. They're not broken or missing, and they're working properly. You're done with your doors. Now we're going to do our lights. My left and right turn signal, back up. My right turn signal, my right full-way emergency flasher, and my right tail light, my right brake light, my right tail light, my clearance lights, my tag light, my left brake light, my left tail light, my left turn signal, my left full-way emergency flasher, my left tail light. If this trailer was equipped with an ABS system, there would be a light somewhere right in here, and it would be amber in color. All of my lights, all of my reflectors, and all of my reflective tape are clean, present, not damaged, working properly. Now is when you would ask the instructor, would you like to see my lights work? Most of the time they're going to say no. Sometimes they'll want you to, but most of the time they'll say no. The moment they give you an answer, if they want you to, you go in, you turn them on, you do like they ask you to do. If they tell you no, you just look at them and say, I would inspect the right side of my vehicle the same as I did the left side of my vehicle. Then you're going to go in and do an end cap. You're going to close the hood down, then you're going to do an end cap. We'll go do an end cap right quick.
Start done.
Whoever gets there first. That's funny.
So we got to close the front first.
Clear.
It's like, who got here last?
We still got room for more. Y'all come on.
Yeah, y'all come on up in here. We'll all squeeze up in here.
I'm gonna sit
I
right
ain't
here.
bashful.
Everybody come
Y'all,
in.
there's room. Come on.
Y'all jump in here.
Hop in the bizarre.
Everybody jump in here.
I'm gonna sit right here on this edge.
We all gonna get skinny.
Oh, shit. You ain't let Maurice in the thing?
Tell him, come on.
You can spin around. Gonna need to close that door, trust me. We're gonna need to close that door. Alright, first thing, dude, just put your key in the ignition so that you're not looking all over for it, okay? Then you're gonna start your pre-trip. Put your seatbelt on. Okay? My seatbelt latches properly. It's not ripped or frayed. I've got a 10 BC fire extinguisher and 3 red reflective triangles in the side box. I have spare fuses and spare circuit breakers in the dash. My clutch has no less than 1.5 to 2 inches of free play. My gear shifter is not excessively loose or binding. Then you're going to start the truck up. Turn the key on. My ABS light comes on and goes back off. Then start the truck up, guys. After you say your ABS light, start the truck up.
Oh, this one's about a 5-minute delay.
Yeah. It's gonna push a nerve on me.